The power of three will set us free. The power of three will set us free. Well, not with that attitude. Hello and welcome back to It's Queer Magic. It's me, Kirbo. And today I want to talk about a wildly specific topic. We're in week C of the alphabet superset, and the only thing on my mind, although I had many options of things that start with C that I was considering talking about, but nothing seemed to stand out strongly in my mind more than talking about the Charmed ones. I have been rewatching Charmed. I am a Charmed fan. I've been watching it since I was little. Me and my little friends in middle school were like, let's go seeing if we can see the Angel of Death. What? All I do remember is being scared because I was the one that could see ghosts. Anyways, I love Charmed. Grew up on Charmed. I'm rewatching it. I've only made it to season 4, the beginning of season 4. So they were charmed, they were uncharmed, and now they're charmed again. And I just have like a big note. I've got like one big question. There is one element of this that rubs me so raw, the wrong way, that makes me severely unhappy. And quite frankly, in the story, in the world of Charmed, in their fake San Francisco, it would have saved a lot of lives. It would have lost a lot less innocence, if not for this one thing. Because from where I'm standing, seasons 1 through 3, Prue's entire lifetime of being a witch, they decided to literally never learn witchcraft. What? Because like, here's the thing. They learn, they push back, they agree because they save their first innocent, which I think just so happens to be Piper, right? Because her boyfriend was like a demon. And they like agree to this, but it's not everybody really agrees to it, right? They're sort of like 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Like, Piper's whole character throughout the whole show is, I want to be normal, which is so embarrassing and so boring. Why do you want to be normal? You want to be normal so bad that you married a ghost angel? Make it make sense. Anyways, right? They encounter witches multiple times. They save witches, right? They lose witches. Witches die. They encounter Wiccans that don't have any magical power, that like aren't witches, that are Wiccans. They like draw a line between Wiccans and witches in the show. And these people who don't have any magical powers, who are just Wiccans, have so much information that the Charmed ones just feel like they don't need to have. They just feel like they don't need to know that stuff. It does seem like the book is this like amorphous, like their Book of Shadows is like this amorphous, constantly changing resource that they have, because it seems like they're like, I've looked at the book and nothing. Oh, now there's something. Bitch, if I was like, they're like,
here, sorry we didn't tell you, but you're a Charmed one. Here's your Book of Shadows.
I would be memorizing that as soon as possible, as fast as I could. I'd be reading that every single day. Because why? It's the difference between life or death. But you're so committed to having a normal life that you're like, let me just ignore this until I have to figure out who this demon is. And it gets in their way. Their resistance to learn actual witchcraft, any kind of history, any kind of lore, or to be connected with the witch community in San Francisco gets in their way. Like, remember when they were trying to do a potion to strip Cole of Balthazar, right? They were trying to take the magic away, all the powers away from Cole so that he could be human. Because he's like, desperately trying to not be evil. And they're like stuck on this one thing. And I respect the fact that Google did not exist, right? I get that. But witches definitely did. And their lore definitely did. You're telling me this was the 90s and 2000s and like Silver Ravenwolf was everywhere. Scott Cunningham had released these books. Like, you could look it up. There were many witch shops that they go to in their own city in this show that they could have been like, hey, have you ever heard of this root? We can't find it anywhere. And someone would have been like, yeah, girl, it's ginger. Because they save a witch who ultimately dies in that episode that is like in their cupboard, like, yo, yeah, let me help you. Makes a little poultice, puts it on their injury, and she's like, oh, it doesn't hurt at all. But like, yeah, that's literally magic. And they're like, we're stuck on this potion. And she's like, oh, they're like, we don't have this. They're like, oh, yeah, you do. It's ginger. And then the potion is complete. Which is so frustrating, right? Because Cole's been asking for this fucking potion every episode. As soon as he was like, you know what? I don't want to do this anymore. He's been asking for this potion every day. Like, how's the potion going? And Phoebe's like, oh yeah, we're working on it. When she's not, It's like a portion of her, like, slightly does want him to remain a demon. I don't know. I'm not gonna like investigate that. But ultimately, witches have died. Witches keep dying because you refuse to like literally learn witchcraft. Imagine the charmed ones, right? But they learned witchcraft and they're like, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna put a fucking ward on our house. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna put up some protection magic. You know what we're gonna do? We are gonna clean the fucking attic. I remember when I was young and I watched that episode where the like white lighter supervisor comes because Leo's like not been doing a good job. And she has lost her charge because there's like a dark lighter about. And I can't remember her name. It was like Rebecca or Nicole or something like that. I don't know. But this white lighter is like loves the rules and she's like a stickler for the rules. And they make fun of her, they ridicule her because they have no empathy. And Leo's like, I've known her for a long time. Like she's really good and she's really dedicated and she's not wrong. Because this woman, this white lighter is like, where's your altar room? Like, why don't you know more about being a witch? Like, why are you gonna wear like spaghetti straps and flip-flops to this? Like, why wouldn't you put shoes on? She's got genuine questions. And I remember being little and being like, she is so rude. Get her. She does not understand the charmed lifestyle. She doesn't get it. They've got something good going on here. And as an adult, I'm watching this being like, she is right. Why are you not prepared? Why are you not prepared for this? I just feel like there's so many things that they could have done to prepare for their lives that would have made it better. To be fair, this is Graham's fault. In what world could they mature? Right? She's like, they're not ready. I have to hide it because they're not ready. They're just not ready. Ready for what? They're looking at their life like, I'm making my choices. How could they possibly get ready when you have given them not even a whiff that they could have a destiny, right? That they could have power. You can teach somebody and raise them in witchcraft without them having access to their literal magical powers. She could have bound them, right? Like she did, bound their powers, and then taught them witchcraft. They get raised up by society so like quote unquote normally that Piper is like, oh no, I'm gonna go to hell. Can I still walk in a church? Like, girl, what? Really? 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 Make it make sense. It doesn't. It can't make sense. You couldn't possibly make it make sense because it doesn't make sense. I just think, I know this is a little ranty, but I'm like currently watching this and it's just so many things would be better if they didn't have this like flippant attitude at best and like complete disregard and disrespect at worst attitude towards actual witchcraft and witches. Whenever they're around a Wiccan or a witch, they're like rude. They like make fun of them. They're like, you're weird. Like, I'm weird. You're literally the charmed one and you're the one who doesn't know the history, but okay, I'm so weird for knowing the like folk names of herbs. Like Phoebe goes to college and what, for psychology? Not for like the occult, magic, the history of witchcraft, like folk medicine, none of that related stuff you want to learn about psychology. And why? And for why? For what? She's currently in school for psychology, which I feel like they mentioned maybe one time. I had to Google it. I was like, what the fuck is she in school for? Maybe they mentioned it one time, right? She's in school for psychology and completely misses the fact that Cole is trying and failing at fighting a battle against the evil that literally is alive inside of him. What's that psychology degree doing for you, girl? Because also, that is where they're like black and white thinking also gets them in trouble all the time. They're like, no, that's bad and that's good. Like, how is Prue going to get raised up to think that death is literally the enemy? What? That's your fault, Grams. Grams. That's on you, Grammy. That's on you, Grams. Gramsicle, Graham Cracker. That's on you. Why? Why? It's just like, it's like, I am very much in a place where I'm like, we need to do better by our children, right? I don't have any, but I still am like, we need to do better by our children. And watching this show, like, I understand that it's like literally fiction, but this is like how people were and how people are, right? She just like is flippantly making these like wild decisions about the future of these kids while trying to strip their destiny away from them. And Piper never gets it together. She never gets it together. She's like, I hate this basically from start to finish while reaping all of the benefits. She marries a dead angel ghost and is like, why is my life not normal? a dead angel ghost girl. She brings this man. First of all, hard to believe Leo loves her. Hard to believe he likes her. Wild. What is it like? But she brings this man who is dead, who fought in a world war, died, got brought back to labor some more. He's dead, right? Somehow physical can somehow produce active semen that works, but that's another conversation for another day. And she's so upset about not being normal that she brings this man to the DMV to commit a felony, fake a social security number, so that he can get a passport. A passport. Remember, Leo's power is to teleport to orb wherever he wants to go, with whoever he wants to take with him. But she says, no, let's go to the DMV in San Francisco. Let's wait all day, commit a felony, get this angel to commit a felony so that we can fly coach to our honeymoon. What? You are so in love with being normal that you want to fly however many hours on a plane as opposed to just blink and you're there. Really? What? That could never be me. That could never be me. That could never be me. You married a dead ghost man, made him commit a felony so that you could not orb. You want a flight coach. Okay, great. And she owns a club, which doesn't make sense. Nowhere near cool enough. Is never there. It operates itself. And like has just inherited all of this money, like all of this multi-million-dollar home and literal magic powers that she complains about from start to finish. When she gets going with her like blowing up power, she's so mad about it and she like fawns and is like, I can't do it. Oh, why me? I'm not ready for this. Like, take a deep breath and like, I don't know, try at all. And they just got married and her husband Leo is like,
babe, could you try please one time? Like just actually try.
She's like, no. She like literally puts on this whiny voice that entire episode and it is so wild. It's like really grating. Like, why are you acting like a literal baby over getting a wild magical power? But okay, sure. Phoebe's over here trying her best to be satisfied with the fact that she could levitate 3 inches off the floor and slowly kick from across the room and sort of control her premonitions. But no, you are gonna whine about being able to blow up and freeze. Okay, all you have to do is learn how to use it. Wow. Is this what happened when you try to learn to drive? Like, oh, I just don't get it. I give up. I can never drive. And the thing is that I understand not having self-esteem. I do. I understand not having self-esteem. But the second you're like, you can't do this, that's not the right way to do it, she's like, watch me. And it's like, okay, so it is just a pride thing. It's an attitude problem. Noted. And how come being the literal charmed ones, finding out that there are so many things that were real about this world, right? Angels and demons and magic and warlocks and all of this stuff that is real in this universe. How did that not make them a little bit more open-minded about more things? They had to like root the charmed ones in like the type of almost like conservative thinking to make the show like palatable, I guess. I don't know. But it's like really annoying that they're just like, witches fine, but living a different lifestyle than me, ugh, weirdo. Like, what? But again, this is Graham's fault. Because you didn't raise them to be like respectful of nature. You didn't raise them to be like understanding of religions outside of Christianity. Like you didn't raise them to have a relationship with death that was not, he's a demon. Because Proof full stop thinks that death is a demon. And an actual demon is like,
that's not a demon.
An actual angel, Leo, is like,
that's not a demon.
She's like, you guys are wrong. I don't want this video to just be me like literally yelling at you about them, but ultimately like they are grinding my gears right now. Even though I love this show, like I'm having the time of my life watching it because it's so fun. I love wicked core, like whimsy gothic aesthetic everywhere. Who doesn't want to live in the Halliwell mansion? I want to live in the Halliwell mansion. It's gorgeous. Their glass bill has got to be through the roof. I'm gonna bring it back to the attic. Why is this where all your witch stuff is, but it's literally so dirty? Unpack these boxes, get a storage unit, make your attic an altar room for real. Like that other white letter said to do. Like, why don't you want that? That's my question. Why don't you want it to be nice? Why don't you want to do it, not the right way, but at least put your whole effort into it, you know? People died because they decided to not learn witchcraft and they decided to be rude about the witches. Like, I get that they can't like have their secret outed. Like even witches shouldn't know that they're the charmed ones, right? But you can be literally in this community without being like, I have magical powers. There are so many Wiccans in the world of the show that don't have magical powers. Imagine if you just like learned it. I think that Phoebe does eventually, but not until after Prue dies is she like, I'm getting in with these witches. This is what they do. This is my friend. I'll have to come back to you after I finish the rest of the series because I don't remember that. That's just from my like childhood memory. But where I'm at now, they have no interest in like really being witches beyond having to fight demons. And it's like, if you're gonna have magic, if you're gonna be forced to like have your life be at risk by fighting demons, why don't you just like get the most that you can get out of it? Like learn all of it, like memorize something. Why do you keep having to come up with a spell off the top of your head? Rhyming is as difficult as enough as it is. Like make up one that sort of like works across the board, like a generic vanishing spell. Like that might be good. No? You don't want to do that? And I love and respect anybody going to fight a like demonic force in like sexy clothes. I think that's cool. No notes on that front. But my main issue is that it's just like they don't want to be witches. And the show would have been so much more fun and so much better if they were like actually interested and like actually wanted to learn and like actually were not pretending that this information just didn't exist and wasn't out there and that they were the only ones that could have ever heard about it, even after they learned that there are many witches that are alive. Like Grams wasn't a charmed one, but she was alive and she was a witch. Your kids are going to be witches. Like, come on. And after Prue dies, Piper is so like, I don't know if I want to do this. As if she could retire. As if she could like not like, say they didn't reform and they don't decide to meet Paige and they give up on their magic. I don't think the demons are going to care. I think that they're going to murder you so that you don't give birth to charmed ones. What? Like... The delusion is so strong with her that she thinks that she literally could quit being the charmed one. That's just like embarrassing. And then her husband gets a promotion and she's pissed. Again, I haven't watched that part again. That happens in a later season. But she's so mad. And I get it because she never gets to see him again. And that does suck. But ultimately, the time that you got together was blessed anyways because he literally is dead. He's literally dead. He died already, which gives you knowledge that an afterlife is available. You get to talk to your dead mom and dead grandma whenever you want, basically. Like every 20 minutes they're talking to Grams. But somehow they're like, no, don't die. Like, I mean, I get it, but like you have definitive proof, factual definitive proof of what the afterlife is like. To each their own, I think, but ultimately... that's just like a little embarrassing for me. The fact that you are like the 3 most powerful people on the planet, supposedly, and just like refuse to like really step into it sort of makes the show hard to watch. As a witch, who is, I'm like, all you have to do would be, oh, okay, they're not going to hear, obviously, because it's fake, but to know the solution and be like, all they would have to do was like try a little bit and this would be solved. Like imagine if they had relations with other mythical creatures, like with other beings that were alive, because we learn that so many things are real throughout the course of the show. And they could do that just by like looking into it. You know, they could do that, but they don't want to. They're too busy, like, I don't know, going on dates. I don't know. I don't even know what my full conclusion is. And I think that there's something deeper. There's something bigger here in a charmed discussion, but I feel like I can't get into it until I actually finish the whole rest of the series. So I'm going to finish it. I'm going to watch it. We're going to talk about it. And I am going to give you my charm dissertation when I get to it, because there's something here. Obviously, this video was just me being like, why won't they learn witchcraft? Which I stand by. But I feel like there's more to be said. And I am going to put my little sleuth hat on with my monocle and figure it out and report back with my findings. What do you think about the charmed ones? What's annoying about the charmed ones to you? What do you think is like a weird part of the show that definitely could be better? There's a lot. Remember how they threw away that Piper cooks? Just sort of goes away. And Kit, the cat, is there, not there, back again, and then gone forever. There's so many things. But again, I just got to the part where they're charmed again, so I'm excited to keep watching and see what I remember and what still lands and what doesn't land anymore with Paige and Paige's journey through becoming a witch. Thanks for sticking around. I hope you liked it. I really didn't think about this. I just sat down and was like, let me talk about this, because I've been watching it and it's been a wild ride. Again, it's so much fun and such a good show. We are watching it so quickly. We're consuming it so quickly. But because of that, I'm like in this world of this show being like, oh my goodness, all you had to do was XYZ. Actually, no, there's one thing, just X. All you had to do was commit yourself to this path, commit yourself to this life, accept your circumstances, and then like maybe gotten interested in it, which is your like literal destiny. They literally get to meet their literal ancestors and they're like, oh yay, we're so happy. And then the next day are like, no, I hate this. I don't want to be a witch. Like, anyways. Take care of yourselves. Tell me what you think about the Charmed ones. If you liked this, give me a like. Subscribe if you want to stick around. I talk a little bit differently on Instagram. If you want to follow me on there, that's where we do memes and tarot tips and all sorts of like witchcraft related content because I'm a queer witch and that's my bag. That's my life. It's my job. It's my whole thingy. If you want to get a real reading from me, you can do that. I'm actually very good. And the links are down below. Okay? Love you. Take care. As I will it, so shall it be. The powers of 3 by 3. The power of 3 will set us free.